Well, everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review American Carnage, which is a new horror comedy. And this is from writer-director Diego Hallivis and focuses on in the future, Texas, the governor decides to send all undocumented workers and illegal immigrants home to where they came from. And they also arrest all of their natural born children as well. And these children are given an option. You either go or you work at this nursing home taking care of these old people run by Dane from Euphoria. And these young people get sent here. You have Jorge Lendeborg Jr., who plays JP, Jenna Ortega, Alan Maldonado, and a group of a whole bunch of other young people get sent to this place. And you're like, they're watching us. Weird things are going on. These old people act weird. And of course, it's like something's obviously going on. And I feel like where this film takes you goes into like crazy, over the top, weird sci-fi conspiracy theory kinds of things. And like this film trying to balance, like obviously has a lot to say. There's like opening section of this film that's like a whole bunch of newscasts and all kinds of stuff like that, laying out all of its thoughts. And it's just like, okay, we get it. And obviously it's drawing upon a lot of relevant commentary in terms of American society, in terms of dealing with undocumented immigrants. And it's that kind of thing where it's just like a lot of this feels on the nose, but you know, this is what it's trying to commentate on. And it gets like full-blown crazy Twilight Zone-esque of like what the hell's going on at this nursing home. And there's some interesting twists and turns along the way where it's like, huh, that was unexpected, and it's weird and crazy. And it has some really solid horror moments in terms of like grotesque body horror that in hindsight I feel like just was tacked on just to be like, we have some body horror to throw at you too, because like in the end it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense in terms of like what's actually going on. So it's just like, well, that feels needless, but you know, you throw it in there. And you have a lot of very shallowly written antagonists in here, and like some of the characters you're like, they're obviously bad and obviously going to turn out to be some kind of crazy horrible people. There are a couple little twists and turns that are like, oh, that was a little unexpected, but you know, it's funny. It has its horror elements. It has a strong young cast. I think Jenna Ortega steals the show, which I think she does in a lot of things. But Lendeborg Jr., I think he does a fine job as well in the leading role. And when it really comes down to it, it has some laughs, it has some thoughts, it has some scares. I don't know how well it really all comes together in terms of a cohesive narrative. And I don't think there's a whole lot of nuance to how this film plays out or it's written. But I do think it's an interesting, crazy, fun time. And I think it's some solid, like, B horror sci-fi with a little bit of something to say. So I think it's worth a watch. I think it has some fun. And if you're a big genre fan, I think you'll get enough out of it. But those are my thoughts on American Carnage. Let me know what you think and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.